through the vaginal canal can be traumatic for little skin that is very fragile and can easily be damaged. So that's something to prepare for. Getting an ink stamp, casting material if you want to do that, watercolor paper for placenta prints. If you want to do anything edible with your placenta, you might want to get that in advance. You might want to make arrangements with a pathologist that can test the placenta if you want that to be done, because that's something that I found that was very complicated and still haven't gotten any answers. I still have a chunk of my placenta in my freezer because nobody is willing to test it to see if there were any genetic abnormalities or anything like that that we could have done. And another thing that was surprising to me, and that I've actually heard reciprocated from a lot of lost moms, is that their placenta came out in 2 or more pieces. So like I said, when Elliot was first born and he came out with that chunk of placenta, I thought that was it, but it wasn't. It totally wasn't. A way bigger placenta actually came out later and was very deformed and distorted, and I think that was the cause of his death and the loss of pregnancy, because it was just not normal. I see a lot of placentas almost on a daily basis, and that placenta was absolutely not normal. I will post pictures in a separate module for anybody that is curious what it looked like. As far as managing bleeding, that is something that is huge in the lost world, is hemorrhaging after a miscarriage. So definitely good to have on hand motherwort, angelica root, cotton bark root, black cohoshes, blue cohoshes, donkai, any or all of those to have on hand. You don't want to do shepherd's purse because retainment is also common in the lost world. So shepherd's purse can cause things to be further retained if everything is not out. So you'll want to go with the previous options that I mentioned. You can get them in tincture form. That's ideal because it is quicker acting. If you have them in dry herb form, it's going to be quicker acting to take them as a tea, as opposed to taking them as a capsule or any other way that you would take them, because capsules can take a long time to digest. And if you are actually hemorrhaging, you don't have a lot of time unless you're going to seek assistance. So also learn how to do fundal massage. That's really important. The basics of fundal massage is you find where your fundus is. And if you were practicing fundal height measurement in your unassisted pregnancy, same way. So you would just feel on your belly for wherever the fundus is going to feel like a firm ball. You're going to feel for that hardness. And wherever that hardness is, you just massage that diligently until your uterus feels nice and firm. There's no bogginess. It's firm all the way around. If you are under 12 weeks gestation, your fundus is probably underneath your pelvic bone and you're not going to be able to reach it, but you are still able to apply heat to that area and massage vigorously to try to help stimulate some blood flow and contractions to that area. So you can still attempt fundal massage without being able to touch your fundus. If you're around 20 weeks gestation, you're going to be looking around the belly button line, either below or above or right on top of your belly button line, also known as the umbilicus. If you are even further along, past 20 weeks gestation, you're going to keep going up above the belly button until you find it. So that is how you would do the fundal massage if you would need to after a loss. Something to keep in mind if you're planning to have an unassisted loss is that you're going to want to check your state laws. So in Florida, where I am, the laws are that after 20 weeks gestation, if you feel that you're in labor, it is your obligation to try to go into the hospital and stop the labor and try to save the baby, which is actually stupid because there's no baby in existence at 20 weeks gestation that has survived. There is none. The earliest gestation baby that has ever survived was just about 22 weeks gestation, possibly a couple days before, into the 21st week of gestation. But before that, there is no possible way to save that baby. And even in some hospitals, they will not attempt life-saving measures until after 24 weeks. So to have that law on mothers restricting the birth of their baby is pretty sick and twisted, if you ask me. So they're basically forcing you to go and be traumatized if you are 20, 21 weeks gestation, and either watch them attempt life-saving measures on a baby that you know cannot be saved, or watch them not do anything at all as your baby either struggles or just comes out not breathing, not capable of life. So that can be, I can imagine, so traumatizing to go through. And I actually dealt with the legal end of how the state views miscarriage. I did post and share about my birth of Elian at 18 weeks, 3 days gestation. Mind you, there was absolutely no viability, no way that he would have lived, and no way to stop a labor that was going that fast at all. Even if I had gone in at the first sign of bleeding, I'm confident that magnesium sulfate would not have worked, because that is what I took mid-miscarriage to try to stop it, and didn't work. So I'm confident that that drip of magnesium sulfate would not have worked either. And I didn't feel it was right to force a baby that probably had genetic deformities to continue to live. That did not feel right to me. I would never personally terminate my baby, but I would also not force a pregnancy that just wasn't meant to be, which is why even through my fertility struggles, I will not take progesterone, I will not take estrogen, I will not take any supplements to try to force my body to carry a pregnancy that is not desired, that is not meant to be. But some people do, and that's totally okay. It's totally okay to supplement if you feel that that is right. It does not feel right to me, but that is your own will, your own opinion. You do what is right for you and your pregnancy, and you will find that in your heart, and you will know what is best. That is not my place to tell you what to do or not to do in that case. But that's pretty much how I feel. Maybe a small progesterone supplement I would consider after the first trimester, but other than that, I could not do it again after doing it with the surrogate twins. It feels very chemical to me, and I just can't tolerate that. Other things, definitely prepare your partner as well. I really didn't have a lot of time to prepare my partner. I kind of walked him through the steps of that first day that I was spotting. I was like, well, what if something is wrong? And we kind of talked about how we would feel and everything. But he was like, everything's fine, it's gonna be okay, don't worry about it, because I have a lot of anxiety surrounding pregnancy and loss from the previous losses that I had had before then. And he was just trying to calm my fears and make me feel better so that I could rest. But none